I've been searching for a really solid assault class loadout for quite some time now in Battlefield 5. I want a loadout that can decimate a single enemy at medium range, while still be strong in a 1 vs 2 or 1 vs 3 situation. I also need a sidearm that can help me in close quarters, and the right gadgets to blast through anything in my way. I'll be playing on Conquest and the new grind game mode. I want a loadout that can do it all, but also improve me as a player. I want a loadout that will improve my accuracy, and also my score per minute, kills per minute, and KD. This new series is going to be taking a look at loadouts in Battlefield. We'll start off with this assault loadout, and it's not necessarily going to be the best loadout in the game, or even the class. What it's going to be is a loadout that's satisfying to play, very effective in certain situations, and one that I've put in quite a few hours, so maybe it's something you want to be doing if you're in the same situation as me. As I mentioned before, I'm looking to improve certain things with my playstyle. I want to survive for longer, I want to get more kills, a higher KPM, and also be more effective for my team. Using this loadout, my kill-death ratio has improved, and so has my ability to make a difference when playing modes such as Conquest or Grind. I'm not saying this is categorically the most effective loadout in the game, as I said before, but it certainly is a solid choice, and for those that have also been using it, you'll probably agree with what I'm about to say. Make sure you leave your opinions down in the comments below. I have used pretty much all the weapons in the assault class. Guns like the M1907 are perfect for close quarters and will melt enemy players that get too close without any trouble whatsoever. But the trade-off is that you also struggle at medium to longer ranges. Sure, you can put it in single fire mode and do some damage, but it's certainly not an optimal weapon for it. An STG with a 3x scope can also provide a great platform for engaging at lots of different ranges, but it doesn't exactly excel at anything specifically. Again, you can put it into the single fire mode and do a lot of damage with very little vertical recoil at range, but is it as good as a Gewehr 1.5 at that specifically? I don't think it is. I've also found myself dying a lot when playing super aggressively with these weapons in Battlefield 5, so decided to take a step back and rethink my approach. This meant looking at the semi-auto rifles. The M1A1 has long been a favourite of mine, as has the Gewehr 1.5. Some gameplay of that Gewehr 1.5 can be seen in the background now, with some pretty clueless enemies alongside it, but it just wasn't quite at the level I needed it to be. I wanted a faster fire rate and the ability to smash 1 or 2 enemies before they got the chance to shoot back. This left only one weapon, the AG M/42. In my opinion, it is one of the strongest weapons in the assault class if you are looking to engage enemies at that medium range, but with the right loadout you can also be super effective in CQB. As I mentioned before, it's not categorically the best loadout in the class or the game, but it is very, very effective, and it will also help you get better at Battlefield, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. So you're probably wondering how to set it up. First of all, you need to make sure that you've used it a bit to get to level 4 so you can unlock all the specializations you need. You then need to make sure you have access to the sidearms and gadgets that I'm going to be using throughout this video. Starting out with the combat role, I prefer to go with light infantry. Going as the other one doesn't really make any sense. The light infantry is best for the sort of gameplay that I'm trying to produce. I'm not purposefully hunting tanks or anything like that. I'm going for a more infantry focused loadout. Taking a look at the specializations, I would say that what you want to be doing is making this weapon as easy to use as possible, and also focusing on being very effective at 1 or 2 enemies at once. Starting out, I'm going for the quick aim. This means you can aim down your weapon sights 33% faster. Without it, you'll notice that the weapon is slightly sluggish, and this definitely improves it. You could go for the barrel bedding, improving that accuracy when stationary, but I don't feel it's really that necessary, as the 33% aim down sight boost is more effective and basically makes the weapon slightly easier to use. Then combining that with the detachable magazines will create a weapon that is incredibly easy to use compared to how it is at the start. It's faster to ADS, and also you're reloading a lot quicker. Now maybe you could benefit from the custom stock with improved accuracy and aimed fire while moving, but I don't really want to move while firing, and I'll explain more about that in a bit. The recoil buffer is then one that you have to pick. Great, because your weapon recoils less vertically, which is great for those follow-up headshots. And then finally, you want to be taking a look at the bottom right with the high velocity bullets. 10% faster bullets make it easier to hit moving or distant targets. Again, very useful for the follow-up headshots on targets, maybe at medium range. You could go for the light and stock, move 60% faster whilst aiming your weapon. If you're one of those players that does strafe left and right while ADSing, this could be for you. But personally, I don't think it's necessary, and I prefer the 10% faster bullets. But again, that's personal preference. The most important thing here, I think, is the ADS time and then the box magazine. Looking for a sidearm, it has to be the Mark 6 revolver. This thing is a beast in CQB if you hit your headshots with a one-shot kill, and also a two-shot body shot makes it very satisfying indeed. As for a grenade, this is up to you. If you're on a map that has tanks, or maybe you want to blast through fortifications or something like that, the anti-tank bundle grenade is perfect. It also has a long delay on it, so when it lands on the floor, you can then reposition as players look to run away from that icon. It's more effective than you might think, but the incendiary is also a great option. As for the gadget, the Panzerfaust is best versus vehicles, I think. The Piat is best versus infantry, the Piat being a favourite of mine since Grind has released. It's an absolute beast at clearing a hole through the enemy lines. With the second gadget, this again is up to you. The sticky dynamite is perfect for blasting through fortifications. The frag grenade rifle is very effective versus campers and will also provide a great get out of jail free card if you have to reload. You switch to that, you fire it, and you can take out a couple of enemies without too much trouble. And as for a melee weapon, I always run my trusty cricket bat. So let's take a look at some of the tactics and strategies you want to be implementing when using this loadout. The biggest thing that I had to get into my head when using the AG is that you want to play from cover. You don't always want to sprint at enemy players because someone might be hip firing a Tommy gun and you'll lose the fight instantly, even though the time to kill with this AG is fairly quick. Always play from cover, make sure you're in a position where you have an advantage on an enemy player. You want to be quick peeking from behind cover, taking a couple of shots and going back behind cover once again. Always make sure you're reloading when you're in safety. If you've taken a couple of shots, remember you only get 11, 10 in the mag, 1 in the chamber. That's not really enough if you are looking to maybe take on 4 or 5 players. For me, the MG is perfect in a 1 versus 2, possibly 1 versus 3 if the players are easy to hit or you're hitting those headshots. That's where the sidearm comes in. Now, sidearms in Battlefield games aren't always something that I really rely on. They're something that I'll switch to if I run out of ammo, or if I can't get a reload in, I have to switch out to it. For me, I'm taking that revolver into these close quarters engagements and using it to improve my game, trying to get headshots and those 2-hit chest shots on enemy players. You want to be taking your time going for these headshots, not only with that revolver, but with the AG itself. You can really do a lot of damage with headshots with this weapon. Battlefield 5 has a generous headshot hitbox, and making sure that you hit that headshot, especially with your first shot, will put you in a great position to take out an enemy player. Always resupply whenever you can. If you're squad leader, drop those resupplies on you, so you've got your Piats, your grenades, everything you need to be effective, always stocked up. You'll also get a load of points from doing that as well. Go to resupply stations, maybe if you've got someone in your team running as a support player or in your squad running as a support player, make sure you're getting as much off them as you can. I know it's not always easy to get people to drop you stuff in Battlefield, but this is really important. You also want to get into a rhythm of reloading. The box magazine certainly helps with that. After an engagement, if no one's pushing you, get the reload in so you're ready to go again. Now, as you can tell from some of the gameplay in the background, it's also important to know where your enemies are coming from and where you should be aiming your weapon. This is what helped me improve my statistics in the game. Not only improving my aim because of the low amount of bullets you get in this weapon compared to something like the Selbstlader, and making good use of the gadgets like the Piat, I'm also making sure I'm pre-aiming corners and angles where I know enemies are going from, sometimes at head height as well, to ensure that I get those kills quickly. From time to time I am lucky and enemy players just decide to go for a melee kill, or will go prone and then I get an easy kill that way, but most of the time I'm always playing to my strengths. I'm always sitting in a position where my weapon will be the best in an engagement, and the only way they can kill me is by getting some headshots, being very lucky, or maybe with a few more of their teammates to help them out. I'm always retreating to make sure I don't get killed by stupid grenades or anything that might be coming my way, and I'm making sure that I'm using the minimap to my advantage, looking where my friendly players are, and then assuming there won't be a whole load of enemies in that position either. You also don't always have to push. You don't have to be super aggressive and think, I've killed an enemy, I need to take his position and make up ground. Sometimes Battlefield is about that war of attrition, so as you kill somebody, you wait for somebody to take their place. You wait for them to get revived. This means that you'll be getting a lot of kills, but also the enemy team will get bored and they'll try and find a different way, and that's when you make your move, and that's when your team hopefully pushes up with you. With this loadout, you're not one of those front-running players that is supposed to push through like a medic with a Tommy gun or maybe an assault player with an M1907. They push through, they kill a few people, and then they break that hole through the lines. You're there to really mop up anyone that's shooting at range, and then you use your explosives to blast through the enemy lines and cause them a whole load of problems. You'll see me doing this in most of the clips in the background. So let me know if you use this loadout. Is this something you enjoy playing with? I think it's probably one of my favourite medium range loadouts in the assault class, if not in the game. The weapon is incredibly powerful, and that fast fire rate is really nice with a semi-auto rifle. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, leave a like down below. Let me know your opinions in the comments as well, and I'll catch you in the next episode.